distracted by my phone. I wish I had a better reason, but I don't. Coffee. Coffee. What TV show is that from? Coffee. Good morning, Andrew. Is it ready? No, more water. It's been a long week. Yesterday was a long day. It's taking me forever to make coffee. Can I go back to bed? Can I just film me sleeping and you watch and we call it first cup? No? That would be creepy. A little creepy, a little weird. Not entertaining. At some point, remind me to tell you about the time that I did spend a week sleeping on camera and people watched it. I've done some weird things in my life. All right. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Friday. It's February 5th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. I'm not drunk, I promise. When did I go to bed? I think it was close to 10, which for me is late. Andrew says he got paid to sleep once. That's pretty cool. Good morning, Stacey. I don't think I've ever been paid to sleep. I would like to. I think I'd be very good at it. That's an interesting mental exercise. Let's play that out. What if you got paid to sleep? And at normal sleep times, right? You got paid to sleep for 8 hours, just like you would get paid to work. And then when you wake up during the day, not only do you have money from your career, but you have time. What would you do? Wow. I think it would depend on the requirements of the sleep compensation. Do you have to sleep at a certain time? Do you have to sleep at a certain place? I think those are the only two parameters. If I had to sleep in my own bed every night, that'd be pretty cool. Because I do that anyway. And then you could go somewhere else and be a traveling lecturer or whatever the equivalent would be and sleep somewhere else. This is fascinating. I think we would value creative pursuits more because we would have more free time. We'd have the same amount of money, but more free time. So I think we would value creative things because those are the most, generally the most economical ways to fill time. There would be more gardening, more at-home food preparation. That's a really... What do you guys think? I would love to see some comments below, and you know, they're not big, but you know, if you're watching later, let me know. If you're watching live, let me know. What would you do with your day if your money was taken care of because you were paid to sleep? I would have huge gardens. Like my entire land, my whole acre would probably grow food, like a stupid amount of food. Yeah. Coffee's good. Yesterday was a good day. Did some work here in the morning, went off to a client. I was with the client for about just shy of 5 hours. Andrew says he would learn more instruments. Right on. I tagged you on Facebook, Andrew. Somebody's looking for something that you might be able to help direct them to. Then I went to the gym. And then I came home and ate a pizza. And then I went to sleep. I think that was it. I think that was my entirety of my day. Andrew says he saw that. I like growing food. Growing food is fun. Stacy says, I'm not sure about getting paid to sleep. Would it take the joy in it away? Ooh. Who is going to work? The insomniac like me? Though it sounds awesome. Well, I suspect if it was your job, you would find a way to sleep better. You'd be able to prioritize the things that would help you sleep. I don't want to work. I enjoy mental exercises like this. You know, obviously it's hypothetical. It's completely hypothetical. It could never happen. So there's no real risk in thinking about it. But I think when you think about things like this, it helps you understand what's important to you. It helps you understand the world. Stacy says, if I went with it, gardening, more photography, more kayaking. Perfect. Speaking of photography, Stacy, you and I have to have a chat at some point. There's a project. We need some photography. Yeah, that was yesterday. That was the entirety of yesterday. There were not very. It was a full day, but there were not many different things in it. Today is different. Today's a very different Friday. Fridays are often, you know, me being done at 1 o'clock. I don't think that's happening today. I think we're running up to the bell at 4 o'clock, which is when I, really try hard to cut off my day. I've got project for client. I've got work for me. I'm trying to figure out what to do for a weekend vacation. And one of my advisors, I've asked, please push me on this because I need a couple days off. I need to do something. And I don't know what it is. I'm struggling with that. Most of the ideas I come up with are not things that would make me happy. So that's challenging. I have a really hard time taking vacation. I want to do stuff. I'm not the type to just go lay out or sit. So that's on my agenda. I've got a call with a potential client. What else do I have? I don't remember. There's a bunch of little things. A bunch of work for clients. We're just adding clients. Clients. More clients. I'm gonna need like a deputy here soon. I really am. A chief of staff. Somebody that gets work done for me and make sure other people do their work so I can go sell more jobs and do more high-level work because that's what I'm good at. And this weekend, a bunch of projects around the house, like putting away laundry. I think maybe 90% of the clothes that I wear typically are in laundry baskets. In fact, I have so much laundry ready to put away that the last load of laundry is in the dryer. Didn't have anywhere to take it out. What are you gonna do? There's work to be done. There's some projects outside. I got more piles of the notes for my garden plan. I've got to get that finished up so I can figure out what I need to order. There's like a cat hair right here. It's driving, there it is. It looks like I'm picking my nose, I know, and I'm very sorry. Garden plan, I gotta bring in wood. I don't know, I think that's it. I'm gonna try to get outside, maybe go for a hike. I forget if the weather's gonna be good. We'll find out. Hey Google, what's the weather going to be tomorrow? Mostly cloudy with a high of 26, a low of 7. That is not ideal hiking weather. Emmett says, great discussion earlier. Thank you. Andrew says, washing clothes takes 1 hour, drying takes 2 days, folding takes 5 to 7 business days. I don't fold my clothes. I don't. My pants go on hangers. My shirts go on hangers. My t-shirts get rolled up Socks get paired and thrown in a basket. Um, T-shirts, underwear get rolled up. Athletic shorts get rolled up. Athletic pants get folded. Okay, so that's the one thing. But those are like polyester pants. Like they don't. You can't fold those wrong. I don't fold my sheets at all. They get stuffed into a basket in the closet. Everything's in baskets. I don't iron my sheets. Some people iron their sheets. That's weird. I don't even iron my backdrop. Although I'm pretty sure I put that on the list for the weekend. Now that I think about that, Andrew keeps giving me a hard time about that backdrop. So that may be ironed for our next round of recording. Speaking of Andrew, an episode that he and I did, I think that went live like just now. I think I saw that come through on YouTube. I think it took Julius a little bit to get the video version up, so let me take a look. Yeah, episode 577 went up recently. There it is. It's the rapid fire Q&A. So that's there now. If you want to see the video version of that, it's here. I'll prove it to you. Come on. There you go. See? Andrew and I talking. It's so exciting to watch. It's way... Look at the flame effect behind it. Julius had fun. I like that. Rock on. What is my phone doing? It's got all these notifications that are silly. Did I miss anything? Emmett says, I'm still getting used to shirts, etc. I've spent most of my adult life in a gi. That's awesome. Stacy's telling me to steam the backdrop. I am not steaming the backdrop. That is way too much work. I don't own a steamer. I'm not buying a steamer, renting a steamer. I'm not bringing it to be steamed. I'm going to use an iron and just kind of take the wrinkles out. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Whatever. It's a shower curtain. Coffee's going down well this morning. Tasty. All right. That's enough chit-chat. Let's see what you gave me to talk about. What kind of stuff are we looking at here? Oh, that's still playing. Stop playing. We've got... Here we are. All right, we got jokes from Frank. We got quotes from Frank. Jokes and quotes. Drum roll, please. Funday Friday. Andrew's in charge of all drum rolls. February is National Bird Feeding Month. I would like to see a list. Actually, I'm sure Frank has lists. And I probably have seen a list. But just the sheer volume of, let's say, February's National Whatever Month. Like, it's Black History Month. It's apparently Bird Feeding Month. There are so many things, because there's only 12 months, so we got to stuff them all. You know, National Martial Arts Month. Which one should that be? Probably September. Why? It's the month where most people start. Because kids start in September. The jokes for Funday Friday. February's National Bird Feeding Month. What do you call a sad bird? A bluebird. What kind of math do snowy owls like? Algebra. What do you call a very rude bird? A mockingbird. What kind of bird do you usually find locked up? Jailbirds. How did the bird break into the house? With a crowbar. Why did the pelican get kicked out of the restaurant? Because he had a very big bill. Good stuff. I love these jokes. Frank, I really appreciate these. They're great. There's something to humor. There's something to silly humor. There's a book with all the special months. And Stacy's dropping a link in there. I'm not going to open that right now. But to any of you watching later, you can. And now for a look at professional boxer Roy Jones Jr. When I thought about it, I said, if you quit now, how are you going to explain to any other kid coming up that if something don't go their way, they're supposed to get up and go hard at it next time? You can't if you quit. Being a role model, or at least knowing that there are other people looking to you and they put weight in what you say and do, definitely has an impact on actions. I am nowhere near the status or the accomplishments of Roy Jones Jr. But there are people who care about what I say and do. They have told me they find inspiration and motivation in the things that I say and do. And so I consider that with the things that I say and do publicly. I don't know how else to put it. Sent to Emmett says, the last week of August is Female Warrior Week. Man, there's a lot of these. But what's interesting about knowing that other people are paying attention to what you're doing, that is motivating. And it becomes cyclical. It's self-supporting. People pay attention to the famous person, or let's say the role model. And please know, when I'm using these words, I'm not thinking of myself, because I am not one of these. Maybe I am to some people, but that is something that I am. It's not what I mean when I say this. Think about it with Roy Jones Jr. There are people who pay attention to him, who look up to him, who find motivation in what he has done and what he does. And he finds motivation in knowing that he can't just quit because he doesn't want to let them down. It's an interesting cycle. You see it on a smaller scale with parents and children. Parents don't want to let their kids down. Kids don't want to let their parents down. Kids look up to the parents. They want to be like them, at least in some respects. And the parents are often modeling behavior that is better than they would without the kids. I find that interesting. Next. Charity work shouldn't be bragged about. It's just something you're supposed to do. I do it because I feel like that's what God wanted me to do. It's as simple as that. I disagree with that you're supposed to do it. You may feel called to do it. You may want to do it. But supposed to do it? It's not charity if it's an obligation. When I pay taxes, that's an obligation. I'm supposed to do that. There's nothing special about me paying taxes. I'm not donating to the federal government. I'm paying taxes. When I donate $100 to a local charity to avoid paying $100 in taxes, that doesn't really do anything either. That's the same. I'm spending the same amount of money. Oh, I'd rather give it to them than them. I mean, it's a little better. Charity is, I give $100 to that organization, that kid, that whatever, and I know that I'm not going to be able to deduct it, that it just comes out of my wallet. That's charity. When you feel called to spend your time, your money on something that provides no return to you, that's charity. Maybe you feel good about it. Maybe it brings you some joy. Yes, you could call that a return, but I think you know what I mean. I don't donate to charity a lot. I do at times. I'm very selective about it because I can't donate it to everything. I tend Most of my donations tend to be like GoFundMe's that really speak to me, and I always check the anonymous box. I don't People don't need to know. If the cause is worthwhile, that's all that matters to me. One of the long-term plans related to whistlekick is the launch of a martial arts charity. There are a few of them, but I would like to launch one that finds a way to fund martial arts tuition for kids who can't afford it. But it wouldn't be easy to do because got to make sure it's not just schools saying, "Hey, we've got these kids. Can you pay us?" Right? There's more to it than that. But ultimately, we'll find a way to do that. It might be tuition reimbursement or something. Next. My first advice is to keep God first in everything you do. Second is to stay in shape, stay ready, and learn about the business because you don't want to be in a business you know nothing about because they will take advantage of you in this business. The first few points make sense, right? Have a purpose, a why. Maybe that's faith, maybe it's something else, maybe it's your kids. Stay in shape as an athlete, that makes sense. You want to stay in shape. The idea of falling out of shape and then getting in shape before a boxing match, that's a lot of strain on the body. There's science indicating that long term that is really damaging to you physically. And then the last part, learn about the business. When I think about that, I'm thinking more about music, but it makes sense in professional sports as well, especially a sport like boxing, where there's a history of talented fighters coming up from humble beginnings and being taken advantage of by their managers. The most famous example that I think most of us know about is Mike Tyson and Don King. There have been a number of interviews where Mike Tyson said that, he didn't make nearly as much money as people thought he did because of the way things were structured, because of the way management was structured. You hear about it in music. You'll see, doesn't happen so much now, but a musician will come out of nowhere, have a hit record, their debut album sells very well, and somehow they're in debt to the label. That doesn't make sense because the contract they signed was junk. And then they make their second album. Why does the second album so often stink? Because they're trying to get out of debt. They're trying to do another album now that they understand some things, they're trying to do it with less money because then they own the label. Sophomore song. The more you know about the industry that you work in, inevitably, the better off you're going to do working in that industry. It just makes sense. If you are a martial arts school, you should know what is going on in the martial arts industry. You should know what's going on in your town, in your county, your state, business-wise, whether that's joining a chamber of commerce, reading the newspaper, things like that. I think the reason so many martial arts schools get into trouble is because they just want to teach. If you just want to teach, you shouldn't own the business. You should teach for someone else who owns the business and understands business. It's a completely different dynamic. I love teaching. I didn't like owning a martial arts school. That's why I teach kind of around the edges. That's why I do what I do now. It gives me the opportunity to teach without having to cover those expenses. just watching the conversation in the back channel here. As an aside, it's really nice, and especially on a Friday, we don't typically have very many people join for a live discussion. Um, so to feel like I'm opening my day, opening the show, having my coffee with other people, it's nice. I appreciate it. Learn the business. Understand how money works. Understand accounting. Understand your own books. If you don't understand basic bookkeeping as a business owner, you're in trouble. You need to understand. I know so many people who just outsource their bookkeeping. If I did own a school now, what would be different? Right now, like with COVID, or just at this stage in my life? Because those are two very different answers. Well, in general, I don't know what I would be teaching, first off. It would probably be some smash together of everything I know, but I would probably call it karate. What? I think Andrew bumped his face on his keyboard. That didn't make sense, my friend. No. Let's read the last quote. All right, we got one more here. I'm having a wonderful time in training. It's so funny because you go through ups and you go through downs. People have to realize that my career started on a down. I got ripped off a gold medal at the Olympics, but it didn't stop me, and it made me a better person. So at this stage in my life, I'll answer that in a moment. If you don't know the story of Roy Jones Jr. getting robbed at the Olympics, you should go read that story. It's fascinating. It is a perfect example of corruption in sport, and it is an example of the bias of humanity and how it seems like no matter where we look, we see examples of corruption. And to me, it is proof that corruption exists everywhere, at all times, at all levels. And it is something that creates suspicion for me. Go check it out. Don't take my word for it. So at this stage of my life, if I had a martial arts school, it would probably be one day, like where I am now, it'd probably be one day a week. I would have classes one day a week. There would probably be homework. If I was able to, I would get someone else to teach an additional class a week, maybe an additional 2 classes a week. I would not be, I would probably teach kids, but I would be primarily teaching adults. And I would be utilizing a lot of the training methodology and the simplicity that my training has led to where I am now. Would not teach nearly as many forms, would probably teach a handful, maybe at most 10 across the whole system. Because you don't need that many. You don't need dozens. I'd rather somebody get really, really good at a few. I think there's more value in that. Since Amos says, I think that's common now. Martial artists are a lot more open to cross-training. We generally throw it together and call it karate or whatever our base art is. Yeah, I would agree. Good morning, Nathan. Yeah. Good question, Andrew. All right, it's time. Time to go on and about our days. I hope you have a good Friday. I hope you have a good weekend. I hope to see you back here on Monday. Go watch that video from Andrew and I yesterday. What was supposed to be yesterday's episode. Find out. I'll find out from Julius what happened there. He may have just scheduled it for the wrong day. And yeah, I'll see you on Monday. Leave me some questions and comments for Monday. Leave me things to talk about. Oh, look, there's cat hair in my beard. There usually is. There it is. Can you see it? I don't know if you'll be able to see it. There's usually cat hair in my beard. It's the number one problem with having a beard and a cat. It's like Velcro. All right. Be well, be warm, do good things. I'll see you Monday. Take care, everybody. Peace.